Today's AskReddit post, Introverts of Reddit. What is the one thing you wish extroverts could understand about you? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. Just because I don't want to go out doesn't mean I don't like you. Also, especially in a work context, just because I don't chat you up about every little thing doesn't mean I don't like you. Alone is not the same thing as lonely. I saw this quote a year ago and it sums it up perfectly. I like being alone. I have control over my own space. Therefore, in order to win me over, your presence has to be better than my solitude. You're not competing with another person. You are competing with my comfort zone. That is so perfect. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's that I straight up don't want to talk at all to anyone. Yes, please understand that it's probably not about you at all. But if you insist on me being too quiet, it will be. If you point out that I'm quiet, I'm 100x less likely to ever open up to you. I wish I could upvote this twice. I wanna crawl inside myself every time someone says this to me. I try to open up more and try my best, but when people say I'm quiet, I want to open a wall and seal myself inside it. Lockdown is pretty much how I live my life anyway. Contactless delivery has been an awesome addition. Yeah, the whole "how are you coping" thing never really resonated. Oh, you know, it's a day. If I haven't made eye contact in 20 minutes and I've said right as many times, it might be time to enjoy some silence. Speaking of silence, it's ducking golden, and duct tape is silver, and a mouth gag is platinum. We are not necessarily lonely. People just assume people who are introverted are lonely and depressed. I'm not depressed. I just like being by myself. That we need to recharge after so much interaction. That's me. I'm also a cashier, and I like the interaction with people while I'm there. 40 hours a week, give or take a few. Now I don't know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert. Stop trying to change introversion. It's not a flaw. If I don't want to dance, don't push me saying I am shy. If I don't want to flirt in a club, stop saying I should get over it. Stop pushing me to be more social. Also, I do enjoy time by myself. I don't feel depressed or lonely. Just stop pushing in general. Edit. More importantly, these don't make me retarded or less socially skilled than you. Edit. Thank you for the award, kind stranger. In any social group party, I'm happy to sit silently and observe. No, I'm not feeling left alone. No, I'm not getting bored. Your pointing that out only makes me more awkward. If I do show up to some group event, I am not going to completely change to some social butterfly just because I'm there. I'll sit and watch like usual, and maybe interact with a couple of people that I am friends with. But I have no plans on becoming friends with everyone there. I have a few friends and lots of acquaintances and enjoy spending time with both of them. Extroverts don't seem to make a distinction and only have friends. When you say OMG I'm an introvert too, I don't expect you to talk more for 2 hours straight and keep breaking the silence. Can we just be quiet for a moment? Excellent. Agree with you. One of my best friends now is a Japanese guy. The first time he came to my house with the family, we sat in front of the house and I was a little uncomfortable. Like always when it comes to talk to others, I offered him a beer and sat there. I was trying to break the ice and talk, so I started to make questions to him, and he just looked at me, answer in a very polite way, and continue drinking the beer. Very quiet and silent after 1 hour, almost no talking at all. Just drinking and seeing to the front of the house. I was thinking that he was having a very bad and bothering time. He looked at me and told me, "This is so quiet. I am having a great time. Thanks for inviting me," with a big smile. Haha. And I was like, what? Now he and the family are very good friends or us? I never said it, but as an introvert, thank you to the extroverts who adopted me. hijacking to say introverts are the majority, especially on Reddit, and I am constantly barraged by articles about understanding y'all, but I haven't seen any signs introverts make any attempt to understand us at all. Y'all know what it's like to sit alone while this drumbeat of impatient anxiety urges you to go do something and there's nothing to do. It's overwhelming. I ran out of spoons for this pandemic lockdown 2 hours in. Extroverts Reddit unite. I was very lucky to have one of my introverts check up on me about 6 weeks in. After apologizing for radio silence for maybe 2 months, she's been having a ball and it occurred to her that I get very anxious when left to my own ambling mind, bless her. Small talks are worse than interviews. So where do you see yourself in 5 years in the dark when the demons come? Cox Bolter, heeding the Emperor's call. I'm not depressed or lonely. I genuinely enjoy staying home and spending time by myself. I need to spend some time by myself. This is why I wake up so damn early. It's so I have 1-2 hours every day where you're all asleep and I can start my day in blissful silence. I love all of you. But not before 6 AM. Just go the duck back to sleep. This is my time. I'm not lazy. I just need time to recover. I'm both lazy and need time to recover. I'm time to recover and need lazy. Introverted equals shy. The people I work with don't believe me when I tell them I am introverted. I'm not socially awkward. I'm approachable. I'll talk to anyone. This does not mean that I like it. My company is paying me interact, so I do it. I have learned the ability to socially interact. It's just totally draining and takes a lot of effort. You literally need to pay me to do it. On my own personal time I don't interact at all. Social distancing is the best thing to happen to me in a long time. My tip for fooling them is to ask them questions and get them to talk about themselves. Yes. Texts or emails, not instant chats. People who text like this. We're not inferior or less mature just because we don't feel the need to talk over people. In fact, that's actually what we think about you when you needlessly blurt out rude comments. Pointing out how quiet I am won't suddenly make me talkative. It sounds like you're pointing out a flaw that you dislike about me, which makes me unnecessarily uncomfortable around you. I remain even more quiet than I usually would be because I feel judged and unwelcome for simply being myself. Not to mention, it comes so out of nowhere. It's as if I told you you talk a lot with a straight face. You wouldn't take it as a compliment. It doesn't even sound like an observation that should be said out loud. You'll just wonder what the hell was the point of me saying that to you. Honestly, how do you even reply to this without sounding offended or snarky? When I don't contact them for a while, they don't need to check on me or feel bad if they don't. I just don't want to talk to anyone sometimes. That I often want to be alone. Seriously, I'm 16 and my mother keeps harassing me to go with my friends when I repeat I want to be alone. I feel like I was cursed to be a quiet boy cause there is absolutely none of my friends or even anyone near my age close to where I live, and I never get invited to stuff, so I just kinda chill. That's what happened to me. I'm 16 and very rarely invite people over because A, there's absolutely nothing to do at my house, and B, I never really have in the past. Some of us don't enjoy being introverted all the time, but we don't want to act extroverted cause we don't know how to, and we might come off as desperate. That is not introversion. That is social anxiety. I want somebody to understand what I'm feeling, but I don't have the courage to tell people what I'm feeling, so I might just seem distant. I relate with this so much. The feeling of wanting someone to understand me is so strong, but at the same time I don't want to open up, so I'm just a mess, lol. Yeah, I made a comment about this. I just bottle up emotions because I don't want to confront about it. And it's funny because I prepare lame cringy speeches in my head, but when the time comes, I stay silent. Just because we're introverts doesn't mean we're not interesting or have no hobbies. We have our own set of pastimes and likings. but sometimes we're just not in a comfortable setting to share or talk about them. Or we realize that people are almost always full of poop when they say they want to know more about us and our deepest thoughts. It's not you. I'm interested. I just don't know what to say, or what to do with my face, or how to hide that I don't know what to do or say, but keep talking. I'm soaking it in. Yes, I'm drawn to people that talk a lot, but honestly, overtalkers don't mind having a friend that is quiet. If you reassure them a few times, they just keep going. Headphones, earbuds and ears equals don't talk to me, but that's for people in general. Hate when this happens on public transit. Why do people feel the need to talk at all on public transit? It's a train, not a party. Just because I'm a good listener doesn't mean you can constantly use me as your soundboard therapist. Fucking mood. Not all introverts are shy and quiet. I tend to be loud and outgoing with people I know and or like for a certain amount of time. Then I need to crawl into my hole and recharge. Interaction with more than one person at a time exhausts me, and I can't deal with more than one social event a week. The fact that I sometimes talk a lot, I can hold eye contact and don't completely suck at small talk doesn't make me any less introverted. I hate phone calls and I do not understand why you miss my voice. I have never missed anyone's voice. That's weird. I hate when people text. I know you hate phone calls, but can I please just call you for a bit? Ugh. Number. I had a friend that would text me. I'd text her back and she'd immediately call. I spent most of our friendship lying to her about why I wasn't answering the phone. Because I was clearly up to chat since I'd text her back, and as far as she was concerned a phone call isn't that different. My job requires that I be assertive, communicative, and lead project teams. How the duck do I tell people I'm an introvert outside of the office and need to decompress? I'm not blowing them off. Don't be insulted if I say some other time. This so much. Working from home has been the worst. I still have to perform to get my job done with my family here too. I never get my solitude to recharge. Just because I don't immediately respond to your barrage of phone call and texts doesn't mean I hate you, and I don't like going out much, so when you force me to walk around Primark for 5 hours I am gonna get annoyed with you. I was social distancing before it was cool. The lockdown felt amazing. Less traffic. Less people, less noise. When I say I am doing nothing, I mean I am doing nothing. I'll be completely blunt about it. Sorry I can't go to happy hour after work. I had an emotionally draining day, so I'm going home to lay on the floor naked with a glass of wine in silence. Some of the best conversation I have is with myself. So could you kindly stfoo and quit interrupting my thoughts? Not every silence is awkward and needs to be filled. Just keep quiet for a moment, especially in the morning. Just shut the duck up. I don't want to listen to a 20-minute rant about why you think rock is better than funk while I'm waiting to check in at the doctor's. If I don't talk to you directly, odds are that I don't want to talk to you at all. Got so much this. We economize words and communication. That I don't want to ducking talk to them. That I listen better than I speak and I'd rather not talk most of the time. It's not that I'm antisocial or don't want friends. And if I make friends I am not a fake introvert. I just don't always get energy from being with people, avoid parties and are more self-reserved. But I do want friends. I am not antisocial. Most times I don't want to be bothered, especially after working all day and putting up with noise and people. It's draining to be around people all day, and when I come home it's me time. I can only be around people for so long and I start feeling edgy if I can't just tune out. If I wanna separate myself for a bit, then I'll ducking do it. Don't you dare come between me and my alone time. I played in the JHS girls basketball team right before the lockdown happened, and towards the end of the season, Some girls said that they know me. I barely even talked to them. They said I was sensitive. I hated conversation and I was antisocial. I'm actually none of those things. This pissed me off. It got to the point where they said my life was perfect. Like, what the duck? My mother left the family when I was 9. My grandmother had to go through back surgeries. 11 of them. In fact, I'm also an autistic person. I've been bullied just because of the way I look and act. That's not even all of my problems here. My point is that I wish extroverts had more knowledge on how we introverts just act the way we do. Life would be so much better if those people could leave me alone. That I'm actually cool with sitting in silence with you on the room for an hour or so. I don't feel the need to fill the silence and don't feel awkward not speaking. And I can see you shifting around uncomfortably while we're doing this. We don't hate you. We just like being alone sometimes. This is one of those times. I don't always want to be forced to interact with people. Yes, it's possible to play games all day every day and not use a mic to communicate. I enjoy hanging out with people a lot more than most introverts, but I like being quiet when I do. It gets physically exhausting for me to be social. Imagine if I called you up in the afternoon every other day and said, hey, you wanna go for an hour run with me? It'll be fun. Bet you'd hang up on my ass in a hurry if you didn't stop answering altogether. If I'm quiet, I promise I'm not judging you or anything around us. 99% of the time, I'm thinking about something totally unrelated. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.